How many know that God, my God, blessing blessing you. Yo, what's good, everybody? Today is August the 13th, 2024. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, God, it is another chance for us to say thank you. Thank you for your mercy. We thank you, God, for your grace. We thank you, God, for the gift of life. Thank you, God, just for you being you and allowing us to be in the space and time to come together. We thank you, God, for our family members. We thank you, God, for the viewers. Ask you, God, that you will bless our conversation, that you will look on each and every one of us, keep us covered with your precious blood, oh God. And we'll give your name all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor that is due. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. What's good, everybody? Let me get my... Actually, let me keep on playing that a little bit while people coming in. And as you guys come in, let me know what platform that you're watching on, as usual. I want to say happy Born Day to everyone that celebrated over the last couple of weeks. I've been MIA on a little mental sabbatical. Haven't really been posting that much over the last couple of weeks. Just been trying to spend some time myself and my thoughts and God, and just hear what the Lord is saying in this day and hour, with all the chaos that's going on, everything that everybody's going through, what we're going through as a country, what we're going through as human beings, from the food to the politics to the just everything that we're living in. It's like, if you aren't already, there's no such time like the present for you to be prayed up and really get to know your God, your higher power, your peace of mind, like whatever it is to you. It's very imperative that we get there and keep on playing this in the background. Well, like I said, what's good, everybody? Uh, Happy Born Day to everybody that celebrated over the last 2 or 3 weeks. As you guys come in, let me know who's out there chiming in. You know, you guys, I love to see you guys in the comments. Make an interactive show. And if anybody want to come on, being that we just kind of doing a recap on the Olympics and different things of that nature, if anybody want to come on camera, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know. Put it in the comments, and I'll send you the link. But again, well, it's too many to name, but Shakira, happy Born Day to you off the top of my head. My cousin EJ, and different ones. Hey, what's good, Miguel? How you doing, bro? Hope everything good down that way with you guys as far as the weather and everything. I know you be traveling a lot too. Yeah, man, I hope everybody's safe and the family's doing good that way. Let me try to get this pulled up just in case I'm getting some other comments on Facebook that I'm not seeing on this thread here. All right, good there. And again, I need to get you on the show, man. I talked to Sean Parker. He talking about coming on one time on one of the episodes. So hopefully we better get some of you guys, some of the old fellas back together. Just have some good conversation. But I kind of wanted to talk about the Olympics tonight. Do a recap on that there. Keep it kind of light, short and sweet. We can schedule it. All right, definitely. I'll definitely get you to the information on that. Like I said, I haven't been doing this. I haven't done the show in 3 weeks now. I took the last 2 weeks off. I get to take my annual trip up to Jersey for the Lincoln Park Music Festival, which was so much needed. I appreciate all the family and all the love. And I would ask that you guys will please forgive me all that I didn't get the contact with while I was there. I got to see quite a few people though that I haven't seen, some teammates in over 30 years. So it was really cool to see some of my old fellas, my actual teammates, and catch up with them and different ones, teachers, and just people that I haven't seen in years. just to see them out there at the park having a good time and vibing off some good music like we do back home. Um, and again, I apologize for everybody that didn't even know that I was in town. Um, I kind of every 4 years, this time of year, I kind of disappear. Like since I've been a child, the Olympics have always been near and dear to my heart as like a competitor. That's one reason I started learning so many different events as far as track and field. What's the difference in the pool and the gymnastics? And it was like seemed like everything dealing with the Olympics, I will watch. Only thing I don't watch in the Olympics is curling. I can't do the whole curling. I don't even understand the concept. But pretty much any other event, I've always been intrigued by and just the competitiveness. You got the greatest athletes in the whole wide world, supposedly, and all competing for the top dog in the top spot. So I've always been fascinated with that as a competitor again. So I'm always watching the Olympics. I literally was getting up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch some events live instead of waiting for the recap. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Even when I was in Jersey, like I said, I'll be at the house just watching until I'll go down to the park for the music event, come back home and watch it all over again, get a nap in, and do the same thing, and then the very next day. Um, so it was really good though, like I said, to kind of decompose and clear my mind and clear my head of things because there's been so much going on. We had just lost in the music world. We had just lost Michael Brooks from the group Commission, who is near and dear to my heart. Like that, Commission is like I'm one of the biggest all time Commission fans ever. I debate with anybody on that. So that was kind of close to home. And then, we lost the lead singer for many of the Hezekiah Walker hits, Curry Brown. And they actually got to do a service for him while I was there in New York, while I was in the Jersey area. So that was pretty cool to be able to check that live feed out and different things of that nature there, and pay respects to him that way. So it was like dealing with all that loss and then coming back. I mean, getting up there, listening to the music and vibing off the music and everything. Then I get back and then we get more depths in our music, especially in gospel music in our community. So again, I want to solicit the prayers of everybody. We lost Cornell Gaskins, great organist. I was blessed to find him randomly years ago. Never met him, anything like that there. But his playing definitely blessed me, and just his approach on how he played the different hymns and how he would just do what he did. How he would share his gift with us. Like that was definitely a great loss. So condolences to him and his family, loved ones, and friends during this time of bereavement. Then a day or maybe two later, because somebody had posted it, and I was like, "This is fake news," because I hadn't seen any reports, anything confirming that he had passed away. I just seen that they were doing a musical concert and a benefit for him because he was doing bad as far as health wise, and he was sick, but he'd been sick for a while. So I'm like, let's not be putting people in the grave before time. And then the next day after that, I seen another post where a family member had actually posted it and confirmed it. So my condolences and my heart goes out to all my fellow Snarky Puppy fans. Um, to the legendary, I would definitely call him a legend. The legendary Sean Martin. Many people who might not even know who he is, but he was involved with a lot of Kurt Franklin projects. He was Kurt Franklin's MD. Um, so I know a lot of him from working with Kurt, and some of the songs he wrote, some of the songs composed, some of the arranged, some of the songs for Kurt. One of Kurt's biggest hits, with the My Life, the one with like the go go type feel to it. He did that one. And then, like I said, I was a big. Everybody used to always, when I would post different things, well, what is Snarky Puppy? What are you talking about? Like, what is Snarky Puppy? Snarky Puppy was a group of musicians when they originally started. It was 25 musicians all together. Half of them were from some of them were from North Carolina, some was from New York, and some was from other places. But they all kind of came together just to vibe and all that there. And he was like the original organist before they even got Corey Henry down with him and everything. I got to see him every time that they came to here in North Carolina or this Virginia area. I would always go to see them. And it was fun. It was cool being a part of that process, learning about them super duper early. Because it was like, I remember the first time I seen them in Raleigh. I believe it was at the poorhouse. It was like $5 to get in. And then the next time I seen him, which was that was a Sunday, that I went to see him Tuesday night at a different place in Carborough, North Carolina, Cass Cradle. Shout out to Cass Cradle down there, UNC campus. It was $7 for that show. Then when they came back to town the following year, their tickets was going for like $50 a ticket because they had them made it. You know, they did have Grammy nominated for Grammys, worked with Layla Hathaway, and just different various well-known artists and what have you. So that's a great loss. As far as the musical world losing Sean Martin, and then last but certainly not least, I actually I've reached out to you guys and I posted it. I've been doing different posts over the last 2 days, but please keep my Delivering Jesus is Coming family church in prayer. All the OGs and the original members of the Deliverance Evangelist Center, under the leadership of the late Apostle Arturo Skinner. We lost um, Mr. Clean. He was part of the Kojic World Church of God in Christ, but we knew him as Mr. Richard, Mr. Clean White before the rest of the world knew him. So please keep the family in prayer. My Uncle Gilbert White, his brother, please keep him and his family, the rest of the family in prayer. But like I said in the post that I posted, especially his mom, we still have Mother Juanita White with us, and to lose her firstborn, and I can only imagine, what she's going through and all that she's been through already, even losing others, children and what have you. We always, a lot of us under that mindset, even though we don't really have the control over it or we don't get to dictate it, but we feel like uh, children supposed to be burying their parents, not the other way around. So my heart is always overwhelmed and kind of just angst when I realize that a mother has lost their child, just dealing with that. So my heart and my prayers are always with you, Mother White. Know that I love you, Uncle Gilbert. Love you too, man. And I hope you do keep on doing what you're doing, keep on doing the will of the Lord and everything else. But his church family, let's keep his church family as well down in Georgia in your prayers. And many of you guys, like, you've been blessed by a lot of his music, that you didn't even realize that he wrote. Like the song that God, you've been waiting on the blessing that I was playing as we were coming in. That's one of his classics that a lot of people might not know that he wrote it, but that's one of his songs. Um, then the O'Neill brothers, the O'Neill twins, did the song many years ago. Jesus dropped the charges. Um, that was one of his songs as well. I want to say I heard him preach or somebody introducing him at a service many years ago, and they were saying he had over like 700 different songs. So a lot of these songs that we listen to, we don't even know that they came, like I said in the post, they came from his pen. Um, so but the most popular one, of course, is well, one of the most popular ones, of course, is him and Twinkie Clark. Accept What God Allows. So again, Uncle Richard, you're going to be missed. We thank you for being the vessel that you were, allowing God to use you in the way that He did. Um, uh, and just thanks for sharing that gift with us, your musical gift and the talent of actually writing those songs, not keeping them to yourself, but blessing the people with them, because they help people do some real life situations over the years, and it is not taken for granted or lightly. So thanks again for all that you've done. And like I said, again, please keep all the church people and all the family and friends, all the people that were impacted by his life. Let's continually pray for one for another during this time of bereavement and of loss. Um, with that being said, and everybody else that lost someone over the course of these last couple of weeks, it's been pretty rough. It's been pretty rough, and it doesn't seem like things are getting any better. Especially anytime soon. That's why I was saying earlier, we got to get to a place where I don't care what your status is or what you feel it is. You need to have a relationship with God Almighty. Get to know God for yourself. It's not about your mother, your father, your pastor, none of that there, your cousins, your siblings, whoever. Big mama. We thank them for their prayers and all that did, but you got to really get to know God for yourself. Because if there was ever a time that we needed them, we sure need them now. With all that's going on in the world between politics and the food and the fake food that they're selling us in grocery stores and just inflation and all, it's just so much going on. We really need to be led and directed from the source of all things, which is God Almighty. So I really encourage you to work on that as well. Um, with that being said, like, what did you guys? So, what did you guys think? How did you guys feel about the Olympics overall? Shout out to all the medal winners, all the various different countries. Um, I meant to look it up too before we started the show, but I didn't get a chance to because I had seen a lot of Christians or a lot of people were feeling some type of way about the reenactment of the I guess the Last Supper, or that's what people interpreted it to be during the opening ceremony. And I think I was actually driving, so I got to listen to it, but I couldn't watch it. Um, so I didn't see exactly what happened, but I seen a lot of people outraged, a lot of Christians particularly outraged about. I think they had like drag, and again, I like I said, I haven't seen it for myself or didn't do any due diligence on it, so I'm not even sure if they were doing something. Excuse me, as far as the Greek Roman gods or what have you, or was actually the last supplement, or just a similarity. What I don't really understand the full context, so I don't really have an opinion on it. But I was wondering if any of you guys seen it and had any thoughts on it, on what you perceived it to be, or what it is that they were doing. Um, that what else? What else was it about the opening ceremony? I thought the opening ceremony, from what I heard anyway, was pretty good. The Olympics overall were I thought were pretty entertaining. Like I said, I'm always for that anyway. I'm watching everything from the track and field events to the weightlifting to the I actually like the old. It seemed like the older I get too, I really like the gymnastics. In men's and women, I think that is like crazy how they could do what they do, the upper body strength that's required and the discipline, from the balance beam to the rings to the horse, like all these different exercises that you have to like literally master. Like, cause I was telling my man that I was watching some of the Olympics with when I was home in Jersey, like, do you realize the level of how many times how many bones you done broken, how many falls you done had to be able to get to Olympic scale, Olympic status, as far as, the rings and the parallel bars and even the skateboarding and biking and the different tricks and stuff that they be trying. Like, no one just gets out there and does that. Like, you don't have some falls and you had some. I would have been like, nah, it's on to the next thing by now. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about that there. But like I said again, shout out to all the different countries that participated. It was kind of weird this year, not weird, but from a competitive standpoint, not overall. Don't take me literal, but it's kind of weird with Russia not being in the Olympics this year because I'm so used to seeing between like Russia and China and America, Japan, France, Australia. Pretty much those are usually the top tier going back and forth for the medal leaders and what have you in different competitions, especially in when it comes to the gymnastics. Russia usually always gives us a run for our money. So it was kind of different seeing them not there this year. It was definitely crazy seeing everything with as far as Jamaica not being represented. They said Jamaica was this is the first time Jamaica wasn't represented in the finals since I think 2020. I mean, I'm sorry, 2024, something like that. Hey, it was good, T. Um, Miguel said people are confused about the opening of the Olympics. It was an artistic interpretation that looks like the Last Supper. You have to watch John Oliver last week today. Comment on it. Got you. And that's what I was kind of thinking. Like I said, that I wasn't gonna really give my opinion because I don't have one on it. I did, like I said, I didn't get a chance to do my due diligence. I was just seeing different posts or what have you. But that's what I was thinking too. Maybe is a possibility between the history and, like you said, is a big artistic thing when it comes to the opening ceremonies, because they usually ask, "Hey, what's good, Naima? What's good, boo?" Um, there's so many different things as far as, especially, and like I said, I always watch the Olympics. I even watch the opening ceremonies. Um, and depending on what country you're at, because like Beijing was like crazy. Beijing opening ceremony was absolutely phenomenal to me. Had me feeling like a kid again. It's like, oh my God, the lights and just the creativity. Even if you can't understand the message behind the art sometimes, but it's very, like you said, Miguel, it's very, very artistic. And it's like anything else. Interpretation is left for you to interpret. So I do want to go back and look at it though, just to see, okay, I see what they're saying, then I don't really understand. I can see, because I do feel like we live in a time and age too where everybody, especially with social media like it is now, even me doing the show in different platforms and all these different means and avenues, it's like everybody has a problem with everything. And it's like your place to get on here and comment, you know what I mean? Or what have you. Where you don't realize that how simple it is to do like I do. And I'm not telling anybody what to do or that you have to do what I do, but it's really easy. Like a lot of times you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is that you do. When you see something you don't like, you know what you can do? You just keep on scrolling. It's real easy to do. Just keep on scrolling. You don't have to react to it. You don't have to comment on it. You ain't got to, you know what I mean? I always associated with, and I ain't going there with it, but I always associated with what I always call these keyboard gangsters, even with the internet and all that there. You read these different comments on different posts and different, oh, y'all need to be more likable and this here and that there. Like some people can't get that it is jokes, some people can get it that it is jokes. Like everybody got a right to voice their opinion. And you do have a right to voice your opinion, but it don't mean that everybody want to hear it either. So don't take it personal. I don't really want to hear what you got to say. That's the thing that we got to go. You know what I mean? You can dish it out, but you can't take it a lot of times. Even with me, I feel like I lost a lot of people, a lot of friends or whatever, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But when I made my post the day that they announced Kamala Harris, and it's like if you like they always say, why? If you know, you know. But the post that I made was I don't support Biden, I don't support Kamala, I don't support Trump. The only politician that I will vote for that's gonna get my vote will be Senator Clay Davis. Now that's a joke. If you know anything about the wire and the history of the wire or who Senator Clay Davis is, then you understand that that's purely a joke because he's not even a real politician. He's someone from a show. So just the fact that everybody would come on my feel like they got they do have the right, but it won't want to come on my post and well, you need to do this and you need to do that there. And I don't believe that you do this and all that there. I get it, but you don't have to understand. You don't have to like my humor. You don't have to understand my humor. But it's mine and it's my page. So I don't, like I said, I don't even like doing the back and forth. But sometimes I can't just stay silent sometimes, especially when it's on my page. Because I ain't into the whole deleting and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But nah, we gonna get into it. If you come on my page, coming at me rather, you know what I'm saying? Like say that for people that you don't know or the general, the ones that just I ain't got time for all that. Cause I'm gonna just laugh at you. I ain't blocking nobody. I ain't deleting nobody. I'm gonna just laugh at you. Um, but Shakari Richardson, which was y'all thoughts on Shakari? Everybody was waiting for, see what Shakari was gonna do, and I'm glad that I was wrong. I'm glad that I was wrong because I didn't think that she was gonna do as good as everybody was hoping that she did. Um, Go ahead and leave, baby. The train going. Keep rolling. What's good, man? I was waiting for you to get it, child, man. Did you see the latest with our boy Noah Lyles? He back at it. He getting into it with the NBA players now. He getting into it with NFL players. Everybody coming after my boy. But yeah, Shakari was waiting on. She did an exceptional job. Um, I already know how you feel about it. Yeah, she did an exceptional job. She won what she took. She took gold, a gold in the 100 and silver in the two. No, She took gold in the 4x1, and then she took silver in the 100, her main race, um, which was totally unfair too because I of course people think that I'm a conspiracy theorist when it comes to all this kind of stuff here. But I would like for the Olympic Committee, the IOC, to explain what it was about the whole thing with her and my girl, Frazier. I can't think of her whole name right now, but Frazier from Jamaica. Like, so what I was reading and the way it goes is they were like it's optional whether you stay in the Olympic village or not. You know what I mean? And they were not in the staying in the Olympic village, but they catch a shuttle from wherever they were staying to there, and there was other um, Olympians there as well on the same shuttle, but they weren't necessarily pressed for time as Shakari and Frazier was. And Frazier, again, she's like the last champion for the last, I believe, two or possibly three Olympics in the 100 meter in the two. Um, but when they show up for the qualifying race, both Shakari and Frazier, they were turned away from the interest that they had normally been going to, and told that they weren't allowed to come in that way to come into the arena that way anymore, and that they would have to walk around. And the way that they say that the way that they would have to walk around to get into the stage to warm up, because it was actually their warm up time for the prelims and the what have you. It would have took them an hour of walking to get in the stadium, which is why Frazier, and rightfully so, I understand where she was coming from. She said, "No, I'm not running." That's why that lane in the semifinals was empty because she had qualified and she was supposed to run, but she told him, "No, I'm not walking around it." You know what I mean? Like I don't understand, and they didn't give no reason. They said that they just happened to change the rule that you couldn't enter into this particular entrance the night before the event. But I haven't seen the IOC come back and give an explanation or why it was changed or what have you. But that was totally unfair. Now, having said that, I think I would have like been like Fraser too. Like, nah, I'm not walking around it. So no, you know what I mean. You guys are not going to dictate me. And having said that, I do understand why Shikari would go ahead and run as well because she missed the last Olympics because of the positive test and what have you. So she's looking for an opportunity. You know what I mean? Where Frazier is already a champion and a medalist, and she's like, no, I'm fighting for my rights because y'all ain't explaining to me, and what y'all talking about ain't making no sense. But Shikari like, look, I don't miss the last Olympics. I have to run today. So I'm not mad at her for choosing that route either. Um, it was also, Bev said it was also a mental thing. There's a certain prep that a runner may go through before they run, and that was interrupted. And that's the whole point that I'm making because, like I said, I used to run track. So as a former track runner, I was no star. That's why I said track runner. There was no star at track. Um, But there, like you said, there's different processes that you go through and different warm ups you have there for different races. You may warm up differently for the 100 than you do the 200, just like you're going to warm up differently for the 400 than you would the 200 or what have you. So a lot of that time and everything with them is all about, it's almost just like weightlifting. Okay, we're going to do a set of 10, then we're going to take 15 seconds. Some people do the 30 seconds. Then we got to get that next rep in. It's about timing timing. And when you telling me I need to walk an hour way around to get back to the locker room, to get dressed, to get prepared for the race, by the time I get done with all that, I'm not gonna have no time to warm up for my race. Pretty much, I gotta come straight from walking, and walking is totally different than the warm up. So yeah, you're exercising your legs, but it's not the same. So it's degrees to it. It's definitely levels to it. So I'm not. I'm like I said. I'm not mad at her for going ahead and run, especially being that she had missed the last Olympics. But I just think that they did a piss poor job as far as explaining that, like why they couldn't make an exception this particular time here. Why wasn't the Olympians notified the night before when y'all changed this rule, what have you? I just think it was like, to me, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I ain't trying to call race, but it's just convenient that the top two runners that we talking about that were affected by it are black people. Can't even say Americans because one of them is Jamaican too. So it's just unfortunate. But it's even unfortunate when you think about the world stage, how we even have to take stuff like that into consideration. You know what I mean? If there's a possibility of foul play because of the races and what have you. It was cool to see. Even though he didn't do a great job, it was cool to see Quincy Wilson run, becoming the youngest Olympian ever for America to participate in the Olympics in track and field, and to be actually at the stadium 100 years later, where Jesse Owens won his gold medal in front of Hitler and all that. So that was definitely pretty dope to see him, which was kind of political too, because and I say that conversation for some of my track when I get with Warren and whoever, my track people, because it was kind of it was cool that he made the team, but it was kind of messed up. So everything is usually like when you're talking about qualifying for these different events and the different races, what it is like usually you got different what they call different heats. So you got 7 runners here, 7 runners here. It's like the process of elimination. Usually like your top two advance from each heat, and then for the remaining lanes that they have available, what they do is they either go by the best times. So therefore, just because you don't place in the top two, don't mean that you won't necessarily get the run and for the championship or for the medal in the Olympics. You know what I mean? Regular track meets, you still get to participate in the event, depending on where your time is. And those a lot of times you're just not given a spot with the automatic bid. That's what they call it for people that for the first two of each race. And when you look at it from America's team, particularly with the 4x4 and the 400, the number 5 guy, I can't think of his name, but he was overlooked, and they went with Quincy Wilson because the coach gets to determine who they want and what not. And the other guy, he's a young guy too, so he'd definitely be at the next Olympics, what have you, God willing. But it was just kind of unfortunate that they overlooked him and gave it to Quincy Wilson with all the noise and all the fanfare that he was getting over the last month. Even qualifying and being a young guy and out there running and representing like he was. So it was kind of unfortunate for that young man to get left off the team as well. But it was pretty cool to see, like I said, to see this young man over there, the youngest ever to do it, was a young brother in track and field, and he went at the same place with Jesse Owens. I thought that was pretty cool 100 years later. Um, who else? Oh, shout out to jerseys. My girl Sydney McLaughlin, LeVron, she got her 2 goals, and she repped her Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I read a real interesting article where I didn't actually see it, but I guess Lewis, what's his name, Lewis whoever, the play-by-play guy that does the post race interviews for NBC. Um, he was asking her, or no, actually it was a different setting. It was back at the studio. They were asking her something to the effect of, you're so vocal about your relationship with God and your spirituality. Do you think that that's going to cost you any of your endorsement deals? And her response was like, absolutely not. God, no matter what happens, how they may feel about it, I'm going to keep doing what I do, and God is going to always keep me and sustain me. So I'm not worried about losing anything, because I'm not going to lose, because anything God has given me, He will replace it. Especially, but I'm never going to dumb down my relationship with Him. I thought that was pretty commendable, and just it's like, okay, I rock with you. And like I said, she's a Jersey girl, so congratulations on her. Not just winning the gold medals, she broke the world record that was already hers. So hopefully, before her track career is over, I would really love for her to be the first person to ever break the 50, 50 seconds in the 400 meter. And for those that don't understand track terminology, the 400, which is her race, she actually runs the 400 hurdle, which is even more difficult to do as opposed to just what they call land running, like just running the actual race. She she did 50.37 in the hurdles, and like I was explaining, the 400 is one full trip around the whole track. That's considered 400 meters or a quarter mile, what have you. So for her to break her own record, that was pretty impressive. But I would really like to see her get down to 50 seconds flat with in the hurdle events. That would be totally awesome. It's like you already broke your own record. Like, what else is there left for you to do? So, shout out to Sydney McLaughlin. Shout out to the men's 4x4 on winning the gold. Who else we got here? Um, like I said, no Lyles. And y'all could give y'all ideas on that. I already know where you stand at, man, but how was y'all take on Noah Lyles? And I seen a lot of different posts and different articles and stuff throughout the last week where, some people, oh man, yeah, this even Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis got involved and was like, yeah, this is what America need, you know what I mean? We need people out here to be boisterous and take pride, and kind of lead the charge because they're the reason that the rest of you track people that don't nobody know of that's not really in the track. They're the reason that you're even getting this notoriety or the spotlight put on you, so to speak, because of his flamboyantness and his outspokenness and what have you. So I get that approach too. Me personally, I wasn't a fan of it. Like I was telling one of my ex teammates, I remember when we played football in high school. That was one of the first things. That was one of the last things my coach would say before we would get off the bus. So we get to wherever we playing at, before we get off the bus, they turn the bus off, and the last thing he would say before we got to get off was, "Look, act like you've been here before and had some class. Every single game. Act like you've been here before and had some class. Like don't be going out here embarrassing like me. Don't embarrass yourself and don't embarrass the school. Act like you've been here before." Um, and I thought he was over the top with it. Like, and the thing that really pissed me off about it the most was like, okay, if that's who you are and that's what you about, cool. But don't whatever level of energy you come with, keep that same energy because he was all right, yeah, this is what I do, and I don't even know why we even got to go through the like everybody else just racing for the silver and the bronze and what have you. But if you go back and watch that race, if you watch the 100 finals, when they cross the line, the first thing he does is go over there and congratulate the Jamaican dude because he thought that the Jamaican dude had won too, and he was real humble when he was over there congratulating the Jamaican dude. But then he turns it to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde once they put up on the screen that he had actually won. Oh yeah, see, I told you, man. I told y'all what I was gonna do. But just 15 seconds ago, you thought you didn't do what you said you was gonna do, and you was a whole lot humbler. So, and then I ain't even gonna get into the whole 200 with him winning the bronze. Because and I hear you people. I hear you people, and you got the right to believe whatever you want to. Oh well, he had COVID. I don't believe the dude had COVID. I believe it was an excuse, and that's just me. And I don't need nobody to prove me wrong or prove me right or side with me and nothing else. But I just found it was very convenient that after you lose, after he talking all that did, because after he won the run, they even said it. They one of the commentators or one of the reporters said it. It's like, okay, now that you won the gold in the 100, he's like, psh, once I come off that turn, don't nobody else stand a chance. Like, and they were saying like, the 100 was like him being right-handed, eating with his left-handed. So it was like a given that he was going to win the 200. But you went out there and you didn't win it. So of course it's all convenient. Well, I was COVID and I wasn't feeling my best. Even though you wasn't feeling your best, it ain't stop you from running your mouth. That's the way I look at it. Like you ain't seem like you was sick when you was out there talking all that trash and jumping around, acting all crazy. Even the pre-race, he got points deducted when they introduced his name to come out for the 200 because he jumping all around. Say he knocked the soundboard over, so knocked the box off or something on one of the speakers because he out there acting crazy. So you wasn't too sick to be doing all that carrying on. So I just find it real convenient that after you place third and you don't win the event, what you said that you was going over there to do in that one particular event. The 100 was just a bonus on top. But for you to get over there and lose that, I hear you. If that's what you want to go with. Um, Shout out to Katie Ledecky in the pool, becoming the most medal woman in American history with 14. Shout out to Katie Ledecky with that. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, she won 2 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, giving her a total of 4. But she overall has 14 for the Olympics over the years. So shout out to her. Bethesda, Maryland. Who else? Uh, the women's soccer team on winning gold again. Shout out to them. Of course, shout out to, well, we can say them for last, 'cause I know y'all probably care more about that than I do. Um, what is that? Oh, shout out to Germany too. What's I can't I'm mad I didn't write her name down. The girl from Germany that won the shot put though. When she did a post game interview, um, they were asking her something about this. She was she in the choir? She said she always sings, when she's nervous and what have you. And she said they asked her, well, what song did, and she sung I almost gave up, but God held me close, so I wouldn't let go. And I mean, she actually sung it too, right there at the press conference. So I thought that was pretty dope. Um, he leaving with the goal, the antics will be forgotten. Yeah, and that's the thing, especially and that's probably that's probably that well that's not probably, but that's part of my problem with it as well, because that's the way Americans, that's probably going to be most Americans take. And I always just look at it from the outside looking in, like other countries. That's one of the reasons that they can't stand us, or is because we're so arrogant, because we're so this here and that there. And I always try to tell people, with me personally, I don't watch a lot of local news, but I watch Al Jazeera. I like to watch a lot of global news because I like to know what's going on over there. Because the way God always dealt with me about it as an adult was I always thought about it like you see the different movies where you can relate back to middle school and elementary school when you had the bully and you had the bully there that he had about 4 or 5 kids that he would pick or to take their lunch money or their lunch every single day. They give me $1, give me this here that there. It's like I'm like about 7th or 8th grade. The 5 of y'all gonna be like, you know what? Look, ain't no need for him getting all of us today. So even if he punched me in the first, the rest of us, we gonna jump him. And a lot of times, I really feel like that's the way other countries look at America. It's like they get tired of America thinking we this, we think of that about ourselves. We're so arrogant, we're so flamboyant about everything that we do, even our mindset. We the land of the free and the home of the brave, and uh, not even gonna go there on that personal level, but just the way we're perceived to be for other countries. Because one thing I always try to tell people too, that when I think about it, people are like, "Well, what do you mean that America's a bully?" I'm like, "You show me one Turkish base here in the United States, or you show me one German base here in the United States, or Afghanistan, or Russia. You don't see no other military bases here, but we feel the need that we gonna go prop ourselves up in all these other countries. Like that's like you coming in my house, hey Marv, just storm over. Hey, whatever remote at, bro? What you got in the refrigerator to eat? Yeah, let's see how that work, yo. You ain't walking up in my house doing all, doing all of that. So I look at it from that standpoint. I guess that's the part that bothers me is when when other countries looking like that, they like I said, have some class. Act like you've been there before. There's nothing wrong with being souped up and proud of yourself and all that there, but you don't have to downplay anybody else in the process. Just like with it, and that was the other thing. That's why he was on my radar because he was talking all that junk about NBA players months ago, or even before the Olympics came around. I don't understand, even though it is a valid point when you're talking literally, but I don't understand why they get to call themselves the world champions. You the world champions of what? The United States? You know what I mean? Even though the NBA is considered the top basketball, so you could and as many global players as we have now, international players that we have in the NBA now. I definitely don't see no problem with them calling it the world champions, world champions or what have you, because 9 times out of 10, you got some international players that's on that team as well that wins that championship ring. Um, Porzingis. So yeah, we are the champions of the world. It's not like American, like NBA is exclusive like it was back in the '60s and '70s for strictly Americans. So I think that the NBA World Champion, yeah. So he got a whole bunch of static with that. And then Ant-Man had his sneaker released, and I guess they both was with Adidas. He's like, well, I want to go to that and all that. He just got a bad disposition about himself to me. So the American basketball, USA basketball, that won the gold in the Olympics, which makes them the world champions. As far as the Olympics, they were like, yeah, what's all that you talk about now? You know, we the world champions. You go home with a bronze, and you know, he was going back and forth with LeBron James and Anthony Edwards and all these different ones. So I just thought it was pretty comical, and it's funny how, you know, humble pie it tastes a little different than that sweet potato pie. That's for sure. Um, but shout out to America overall for winning. They were tied with the China for the most gold medals at 40. On a personal level, I was kind of disappointed with that. Uh, I thought we brought home way too many silver and bronzes. I'm usually rooting for America to come away with at least 50% gold for the events that we do. Some of them we don't stand a chance, but I think 50% is doable. Um, I looked it up. We won the most overall record. We won 40 gold, 126 overall. Um, and I believe that USA became the first country to ever win to get to 3,000 medals overall. So that was pretty impressive too. But I thought 40 out of 126, I thought that was kind of a low number. We need to work on that. So I think it was 84 Olympics where we brought home 84 gold medals. So hopefully we can turn that around in 28. Since to be back here in LA. So shout out to them. Shout out to my girls because that's one of my favorite events there. Um, Women's volleyball. Because one, I love the game of volleyball. Period. But I absolutely love to watch the women play it. Um, the competition is getting better. Absolutely, and that's the whole point. Where I say I don't have a problem with them calling it the world because you think about it, even in the NBA, the last 5-7 years, your top the MVPs and your top people forerunner in the MVP conversation, they're foreigners. We're not even dominating in our own league anymore. You know, you got Joker that 1-3, um, Embiid 1-1. Who else? Who else was it that won the other one? But they're up there. Even last year with Shea in the conversation, Luca in the conversation. All these people, they're international players. Like what's going on in America? Like we got to get back up to that mindset. And I had this conversation all the time too, Miguel. We could talk about that later, me and you, or a couple of guys. But one of the things that I think one of the main problems is why I have that, even though I'm not taking anything away from them, the international players, because they have gotten better and they have upped their game. But I feel like a lot of times we don't strive to be as great as we could possibly be in America. That goes with the military, that goes with Christianity, that goes with sports. I think that that's part of the problem because let me be clear. I definitely rather see the players get the money than uh than the owners get the money. Absolutely. I'm all about the players getting the money, but it's hard to want to be the greatest two guard or the greatest center ever when you're making $9 million a year sitting on the bench. And you're already thinking about what club you're gonna buy up and what restaurant, how many tables we gonna get when the game is over. It's like now that they already got the money, or they got so much money, a lot of these jokers, even when you watch all these AAU players, even in the NBA, oh no, I don't want to play against him. I don't want to be the franchise player. I want to go team up with my buddy, and I want to play together. How cool would that be if we could play together? Like, nah, man. I'm still old school when it comes to that thing. I like the fact that even though Pat ain't never win no ring, Patrick Ewing, he never wanted to team up with Reggie Miller, or Reggie Miller ain't try to come to New York and what have you. You know what I mean? I still miss those that mindset. That's the mindset that I'm look, we gonna do this. I'm gonna be the franchise player and we gonna do our best to win. But it was good, Marky. Um, I think that we got to get back to some of that, wanting to be the best, not just with cool with being in the NBA or just cool with being in the NBA, NFL, or the major leagues. Like, no, Go out there with the mindset that you want to be the greatest to ever do it. You know what I mean? I think overall we suffer as fans because it brings down the quality of what's we get the product. So I think that, but that's all mindset too. You know what I mean? And if it ain't in you, it's like they always say, if it ain't in you, it ain't in you. Pause, whatever. But if it's not, you got either you got it or you don't. So that goes into a big part of it either. But I want to see us toughen up and become those. That's one thing I like about Anthony Edwards. I do believe that he's a young player that has that throwback mentality. He's looking for all the smoke, and he ain't ducking nobody, nowhere. He want everything. he want it all. So I do like that. That's one thing I like about him. But we need more of him out there. Um, and having since we did, shout out to both the men and the women. And when bringing home the gold in basketball. Steph Curry, man, listen, I was more excited about the women than I was the men. But one thing about him, man, I'm not. You would never hear me say nothing bad about Steph again. Steph is just he's unreal. Steph is unreal. That mother jumper is ridiculous. Like I really think that he can shoot jumpers in his sleep. Like he's just gifted. He's in the class by himself. So shout out to Steph, who should have been the MVP, who we know that was the MVP overall, even though he didn't come home with the award. He definitely was the MVP for the men's basketball team. So shout out to Steph. Um, Shout out LeBron on getting another ring. I mean another medal as well. But the girls, the women they did a phenomenal job, and hats off to them. Kind of looking forward to seeing the WNBA start back up just to watch some more female basketball players. Then shout out to my girl Sally too, that played for France. I started following her on Instagram. on Instagram, I think maybe he was the MVP for the game. Oh, was he? Okay, because I was reading something where they were talking about that LeBron. He should have been, but LeBron got the MVP, maybe for the overall whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that Steph was definitely worthy. Now, if he did get it, then cool. Um, WNBA is awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because Asia Wilson, she's a problem. Who else was out there cooking? I'm waiting to see what Angel Reese gonna do now that she kind of, one thing about being sports, anybody that's ever been an athlete understand like momentum is a big thing. So for this little break in the middle of you guys season, especially when she had already done started, she done broke the record for the most double doubles, let alone for a rookie, but overall, like just to see how she's going to be able to bounce back and get back to where she was at before they took the break to do the Olympics. I want to see how that's going to play out. But shout out to Angel Reese, shout out to Caitlin Clark, shout out to my girl. What's her name? I can't. The guard for the Liberty. Uh, I don't. I don't want to mess up her name, but yeah, she got the sneaker deals and all that. There. She's a problem. Um, Collier. I didn't. I wasn't. She wasn't on my radar, but she's on my radar now after watching. After watching the Olympics, and then even was reading some article earlier that I got to go back and redo some more due diligence. But Angel Reese had reached out to the girl that I'm talking about. I started following on IG. She plays for France, and she's like, hey, won't you come over here and play with us in Chicago? And she was like, well, maybe we could play together again for another organization. The Chicago Sky did me dirty. They know what they did. So I'm like, I need to go find out what that is. So apparently she's to put in the WNBA because she was definitely out there holding her own. Um, so even though I said big ups to America on bringing back home the gold, which was rightfully so, I want to give a shout out to France too because having that hometown favorite, I think that played a big part. You know what I mean, and to see both of them represented because France shouldn't have been. I was actually surprised when Canada lost. Like I said, I was up 5 o'clock in the morning watching these different games and getting back up watching the next one at 8:30, and you know But Canada, I just knew Canada was gonna be there against us in the finals when it came to the men's basketball. But to see the way France then they beat Germany, and just it was pretty much overall good basketball. Of course, I would like to see more blowouts. I wouldn't like to see so much politics involved in the selection of our team as well. Because again, if it's the Olympics, it's the best athletes in the world. So I don't want to hear nothing about no strategy. And I get that. Everybody has a different code style, but I get that. For me though, I want to see the best. I want to see the best representatives in the NBA, American representatives on Team USA. Period. I don't care whether it's a team full of the NBA players. So they ain't gonna be so ain't like they is a league like the Chinese team. I think it was China that they played the first game. It was crazy. Like some of the defenders was coming up. No, it was the women's. The women, not the men, but the women. They were coming up to like they waist and everything. It was just looking like something funny, like a skit. And I'm not being disrespectful to the Chinese people, but the size differential was like super super crazy in that women's game. But yeah, I want to see the best U.S. players on the team. Period. Um, what's your thoughts on what's your thought? I want to go. I want to girl the bronze medal. What you mean? Let me know what you mean on that one, Marky. Uh, but yeah, good basketball overall. I even posted that Sunday morning. I think that was some of the best looking basketball I had seen in a while. With the women were playing in their medal round. Um, they did a real good job. But yeah, like I said, my girls volleyball, Italy was not to be playing. So if you don't know anything about volleyball, the way volleyball works is it's the best out of 5 sets. So you play the 25, and you have to win by two. Uh, Women's gymnastics. Oh yeah, yeah. I ain't got the Simone. I ain't got the Jordan Childs yet. My little new boo. I ain't got to her yet, or Simone Biles. But in volleyball, what you got to do is you have to win. You play the 25 sets up to 25. You have to win 3 sets. First one in 3 sets. Um, and Italy, who we lost to for the gold medal, who we played for the gold medal, and we walked away with the silver. They only lost 1 set the whole Olympics. They won 3-1, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and 3-0. Like the women from Italy were not playing. So kudos to USA for doing the best that they could and coming back with the silver, but nobody stood a chance against Italy when it came to that volleyball. Um, the U.S. Beach volleyball, they kind of let me down too. We usually do pretty well in that. They didn't even medal. I don't believe neither one of them, the men or the women. Um, but yeah, that was good. Um, you talked about Jordan Childs, Mark. You must ain't seen my post Sunday. Like, I'm not giving that back nothing. Y'all better come get it. I'm not giving back nothing. Because even when I was reading up on that, when it was real time and when it first happened, I thought that was pretty weird and crazy too. Because they say that um the coaches made an appeal on the decision, but it should have never been honored because if you go back, okay, in real time, she finished fourth place. Then they went back and readjusted the other girl's score, and that's what put her up to the bronze because they were saying that the girl got an extra point that she shouldn't have got, which put Jordan Child in the bronze position instead of fourth. Having said that, when America made their protest too, they said they made a protest, but it was beyond the time that you had to protest. So apparently, if you have a discrepancy with one of the scores or you feel some type of way in gymnastics, you only have 1 minute to protest it. But I'm like saying to myself, like when you watching it, look how long it actually takes them to show us the score or come up with the score after each execution. So how you only gonna give me a minute after I gotta wait a whole minute and a half for you to know what the score is? I got to just be ready to go ahead and nah, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I think it should be a more graceful time period as opposed to just 1 minute. They said when they submitted they protest, it was 1 minute and 4 seconds, which means it should have never been accepted, but they did. So again, that's your mistake. I'm not getting none back. Just like OJ, just like Reggie Bush. You ain't getting no Heisman back from me. I walk across that stage and get that trophy. You ain't getting nothing back from me. You better come get it. I promise you I ain't giving nothing back though. Like, as soon as they call me, what you mean you ain't get it? I done mailed it out to you already. It's on the way. It must have got lost in the mail or something. But nah, once I got it, I got it. I ain't coming back. You ain't getting that back. That's like a job giving you an extra check by mistake. They put an extra $300 in your account or $500. Oh, we gonna need that money back. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you talking about. You better take that up with payroll. My account looks just fine to me. But yeah, that was cool. And so what y'all think about the breaking too? I've been seeing a lot of jokes, and what we gonna do is we gonna stop all this slander against the young lady. I forgot to write her name down from Australia though. Like the internet been killing her all week. And it is only funny. It's only super funny to me because she really wasn't that good. But it was the fact that when the very first day, 'cause like I said, I've been waiting for the whole Olympics for this. So I'm watching it, the commentating to see how the rules work. And I do like that, even though they're doing routines or what have you, they don't know what they're dancing to. Um, they don't know the songs beforehand. So I think that's a really cool concept because it really shows, the level of skills that you really have when you got to improvise. Because you might have to say, okay, if you know the song that you want to play, of course you can orchestrate your whole routine and come up with that there. But you got to kind of think on the fly, almost like freestyling. So you just got to have enough stuff in your bag that whatever beat they play, you got to get down to it. So I do like that from it. But it was like what was so funny to me was when they introduced her. So I believe she was in the first round or the second one to go. Overall, first time ever breaking is ever in the Olympics. It was like from Australia. This young lady is a professor for whatever university for in breaking. So I'm like, yo, she about to come out and kill. And she out there doing the worm. It was funny. It was funny to me. It was funny. Uh because what it's not what's looking at it. She nailed it compared to the other girl. So what I said, he's a fool. We talking about the back to Jordan Child, yeah. And like I said, it was a big discrepancy in the score, and they gave her like a whole point, which is like crazy in gymnastics, because a lot of that stuff be coming down to hundredths of a point and what have you. But they converted her score from like a 74.766 to like a 75.766, which is like a huge amount in gymnastics. So yeah, they need to get their stuff together, all these judges and whatnot. You know what I mean? As far as gymnastics and like as long as it be taking y'all, we don't need to be hearing about no discrepancies after the fact. Because it be taking a nice little minute. And then it be even taking even longer for them to show us the score at home. So they definitely need to work on that and get that better before 2028. But shout out to the young girl Amy from Japan that won the women's. I thought that the women were definitely more exciting than the men in the break dancing competition. I like I said, I liked it. It was something different, but I liked it overall. One, like I said, I thought the man was kind of but the last dude from China that he knew he couldn't even advance. The routine that he did, oh man, yeah, he almost made me want them to come out with a new breaking movie. Like he had skills, skills. So it was kind of unfortunate that he didn't make it. But he represented and he cried and they gave it up for him. The whole crowd gave it up to him. So he got the love that he deserved. He might have not got the outcome that he wanted, but he definitely got the respect in the breakdance community. And And I was surprised to see that they not waiting to see what kind of numbers they brought in with that deal. Because like I said, we many of us we talking about the break dancing, whether we liked it, whether we didn't like it, we talking about it. But for them to not have it coming back in 28, they said it's already not on the books, but they're trying to get it on the schedule for 32. I thought that was kind of weird, especially being that they're going to be here in the United States, and we are the ones that created um, breakdancing in the hood in our community and hip hop culture. I definitely thought it would, if anything, it should be in the Olympics here, but that's neither here nor there. I think that's about it. But shout out to all the overall winners. Um, all the overall winners, all the Olympians, all athletes, period. Because even though I talk about I was talking with my cousins watching the Olympics and like, look, I'm the type of person I'm not going over there for nothing less. I was watching one documentary. They were talking about the men, and I think it was '80 or one of those years. They got the silver. They lost to Russia. I think it was 1980. No, that's because '80 they boycotted the Olympics. One of those years though, '76 or '72, some year they lost to Russia. They said the men wouldn't even bring the medals back. They wouldn't even. They left the silver medals in the hotel back over there. I like see that's the type of mentality I like. Now I know some people. Nah, man, I work too hard for all that there. So I get all of that there too. I get all of that as a competitor. I just want to, and I think, like I said, a lot of that is greatness is a mindset. Of course, you have to have athletic ability, but I do believe that is all about a mindset as well. So I'm with that mindset. I'm coming over here to get gold. I ain't settling for nothing less. Now, it's not taking nothing away from all the people that put all the work in to win the silver medal and the bronze medal. I'm just saying for personal, I want that gold. And even I forgot one of the what event it was. Even with me and my cousin. The diving. The diving. When the one Chinese girl won, the other chick, she finished second. Another a girl from China finished second. But you could tell, like, even the way she was looking, like she was not happy with no silver. And I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. She wasn't hating on the one that came in first place and got the gold medal, but she was more or less disappointed in herself. And I was like, I like her. Cause see, I like that mentality. That's more like me. Um, go over there. You go over there with a purpose. But again, shout out to all the representatives because you guys are all Olympians. You all are the top tier of your different disciplines and your different fields or whatever. So shout out to all of you, all Olympians that made it. We're gonna get ready to get up out of here. I think that was pretty much all I had tonight. With the Olympics, there was a couple other things. Woody for YSL, he's back at it again, but we can get on that another time, another day. But I want to thank all y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be back with you next week. We'll probably be back more our regular vibe next week. I got a young lady that I believe is going to be on with us. She's going to be on with us with either next week or the week after. But I'll definitely get you guys the detail on that. There, she has a pretty dope story, an amazing story. Um, but again, I want to pray for everybody. I want you guys to pray for that throughout the week too. Just keep everybody in prayer that's going through, whether it be health, whether it be mentally, whether it be the loss of a loved one, a coworker, a family, friend, what have you. Let's really just keep one another prayed up um, during this time of year. Shout out to all the kids, and our prayers are with them. All the kids that are returning back to school this time of year. Let's keep them prayer. Let's keep them covered with our prayer as far as safety and just their everyday well-being as they venture out here to schools and whatnot. I know some of you moms and some of you dads, you already got the wine and the chiller celebrating and that they back to school. Um, Fortunately, I haven't seen those days in over like 10 years now. So I do not envy you guys. I remember what it was like though. Just wait, like when y'all go back to school. So and again, I'm joking, but let's keep the teachers in prayer as well. The teachers and administrators that have to go out, that they do the real work. They spend more half of the. I always tell people it is very necessary job that is definitely underpaid. But let's keep our teachers in prayer because when you think about it, they spend more time with our children on a daily basis than most of us have time between jobs and different things that go on. So let's keep them up in prayer as well for their strength, for their sanity, dealing with these children that we we send to them. Uh, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. You love on everyone. I love you guys. I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back with you. I'll be posting more pictures now that I'm back and settled in from my trip. But it was amazing. Shout out to North. Every time I get to go home is always a blessing to me, man. And every time I get to come on here and just talk to you guys and fellowship with you guys, I consider that a blessing as well. So I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. But until next week, you guys stay safe, stay prayed up. Know that I love you. And as usual, I'm signing off. DeAndre and Lisha, know that Daddy loves you intentionally, but I also love you unconditionally. So next week, peace.